All right, welcome to week 3. We are diving into one of the oldest, most, mind-bending questions in all of theology. It's this sovereign paradox. If God is all-powerful and in control of everything, how on earth can we also have genuine free will? Let's get into it.
So, is our path totally set in stone, or are we the ones forging it with our own choices? To even begin to tackle this, we've got to look at the two, let's call them pillars, that hold this whole paradox up. And they're both pulled straight from the source texts, which is what makes it so fascinating.
Okay, pillar number 1, divine decree. This is the big one. It's the idea of God's absolute sovereignty. We're talking about the divine will as the ultimate, all-encompassing force in the entire universe. Period.
And you see this laid out so clearly in the Hebrew Bible. Take this verse. Our God is in the heavens. He does all that he pleases. I mean, it doesn't get much more direct than that, right? This isn't just a suggestion. It's presented as the very fabric of reality.
Then, the Christian tradition really builds on this. Look at this quote from Romans. So then, he has mercy on whomever he wills, and he hardens whomever he wills. This takes it a step further, right? It's not just a general, God's in charge kind of thing. It's saying God is actively involved in the destinies, even the hearts of individuals.
And the Quran frames this in maybe the most direct way of all. Check this out. But you will not unless Allah wills. Wow. So human will, it exists. It's totally real. But it operates completely inside the bigger circle of God's will. You only have a choice in the first place because God willed it to be so.
Okay, so that's a pretty strong case for divine control, right? But now, let's look at the other side of the coin. Pillar 2, human freedom. Because running right alongside that idea of sovereignty is this powerful, just undeniable call for us, for humans, to take responsibility and make moral choices.
I mean, listen to this from Deuteronomy. I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Therefore choose life. The command couldn't be clearer. The responsibility is put right on our shoulders. It's not passive, it's an urgent, active command to choose. This is presented as a real make-or-break decision.
And again, the Quran affirms this freedom with just incredible clarity. The truth is from your Lord, so whoever wills, let him believe, and whoever wills, let him disbelieve. So belief isn't some predetermined state. It's a genuine choice that's available to every single one of us. The path is there, but you have to decide to walk it.
So, here we are, left with this huge tension. On one hand, God does whatever he wants, and nothing happens without his will. On the other hand, we are told to choose life, and that we can believe or disbelieve as we will. So, how can both of these things possibly be true at the same time? That's the paradox.
Now, this isn't some new problem we just discovered. Nope, theologians and thinkers have been wrestling with this for millennia. And the rabbinic tradition came up with this incredible formulation that just distills the whole thing down into one powerful statement. It's been an anchor for this conversation ever since.
Here it is, from Rabbi Akiva. All is foreseen, yet free will is granted. You see what he's doing? The key here is that he isn't trying to solve it by picking a side. He's not saying it's either or. He's saying it's both and. Both are true. So the challenge isn't to get rid of the tension. It's to build a way of thinking that can actually hold both of these truths together.
So how do you do that? Well, let's explore how Judaism, Christianity, and Islam each build their own unique framework for living inside this paradox. And to make this really concrete, we're going to use one of the toughest examples there is, the idea of God hardening someone's heart. But first, before we can compare them, we need a key piece of vocabulary from rabbinic thought. It's called the Yetzer Hara. This translates to the evil inclination. But, and this is important, don't think of it like some external demon. It's seen as an internal drive, one that God actually gives us to test our moral will. And the Torah? That's the antidote, the tool you use to manage it. This whole idea of an internal, God-permitted test is absolutely crucial for what comes next.
Okay, so check out how this case study of hardening hearts plays out. In the Christian view, drawn from Romans, it's seen as an act of God's sovereignty. But, and this is a huge but, it exists right alongside a real, universal call for everyone to repent. Now, in the rabbinic view, there's this great saying, all is from heaven except the fear of heaven. In other words, your moral choice, that's always on you. God might set the stage, but you're accountable for your part. And then, the Quranic view frames it more as a reaction. Allah seals the hearts of those who persistently reject him. So in a way, God is respecting their initial choice by making it permanent.
So what's the big takeaway here?
It's that none of these traditions try to make it easy by just picking one side. They don't ditch free will for providence or the other way around. Instead, each one creates a unique framework, a special language, to hold both truths. They create a way to live inside the mystery instead of trying to solve it away.
And that leaves us with this final question to chew on. What if the whole point of this paradox isn't to find a neat, tidy answer? What if its purpose is to be lived in? To force us to be humble about God's plan while also taking total responsibility for our own choices? How does living in that tension actually shape our understanding of justice, compassion, and faith itself?